tell us about the history. How did you start this business?
Okay, look, my own personal history was, my career was in shipping in Cape Town. After I finished my military training, I went straight into shipping. So I had some experience there, and then I came back to Namibia to take over a family business, a transport company. This was in the early 80s. And it was in 1992, I think, that Gilham Shipping, there were only two shipping companies here basically. It was Worker Freight Services and Gilham Shipping. And Gilham Shipping closed down. And I sort of looked at this and I thought, well, okay, there's a bit of opportunity here. I actually managed to buy the property that Gilham Shipping owned. That is the property that the service station is on now. No, sorry, Gilham never owned that. It was the building adjacent to the service station. It's an old building called Luderitz House. It used to be a Luderitz guest house anyway, so bought that, and then the service station was also run down and closed. It was run by Caltex in those days. So we started awakening Caltex to the fact that we'd like to reignite the service station. They actually then said to us, no, they've got someone else for the service station. So I said, well, okay. What had happened is when we started off in 92, one of my first clients was Shell Namibia. And a very good friend of mine called Alan Walton-Davis was the MD, and I happened to know that he owned that property. And he was the Shell MD owning a Caltex service station. So I knew he was in a bit of a spot, so I dashed up to Windhoek, made him an offer, bought the service station property, told Caltex, okay, goodbye. And
It's clever.
And then I think it was only 2011 or so that we got the service station really going. So 92, we acquired, as I said, one of our biggest clients then was the Shell agency. We got into the then newly burgeoning offshore diamond industry, the logistics and supply of outside of De Beers. De Beers had obviously been established for a long time, so outside of De Beers we got into the players that were really starting, and that are fairly big players today. My main reasoning for it, ironically enough, was I was certain, because I'd been involved with Kudu Gas when it first started up, but outside of shipping. And I was certain that something was going to happen in those days, and I wanted to be in this logistics game when the oil fields jobs came off. And we were actually talking to, I think it was Shell Netherlands at the time, who were coming back to do Kudu Gas. And they actually, the guys then said to me, as a sole one-man business, they're never going to look at you. You know, you're going to have to do something bigger, because you need guarantees and things like that, which obviously we could never offer. And that would have been about 1997 or so. And then it was in 1998, I think Christian Werker contacted me, and we wanted to meet. My kids went to school in Cape Town, so I was often down there, and I was there once, and we had lunch, and we mooted this idea. We were battling a bit at the time. We were also involved in all sorts of fishing businesses, which was never my forte, shipping of fresh fish and that sort of thing. Highly volatile business. So I was fairly sort of open to it. And that's how it came to pass. I think it was, we started talking early 98, and I think by the end of 98, Luderitz Shipping and Forwarding was born. The MD then was Harold Denwell. I obviously had to negotiate a bit with him. So anyway, and then I retained some shares, as I told you, and then I took over the management. We left we left the buildings across the street, excepting for the service station, and took over it was then the worker freight services buildings and the warehouses and so on. And things happened from there. Been great. We went through some tough times in the beginning. I mean, Luderitz was really down and out for many years. We had some oil and gas projects which were really good for us. I think we did our first in about 2002, something like that, with Shell and Norsk Hydro, and then I think in 2007 we took over Anglo-based metals, the zinc warehouse, the zinc and sulfur warehouses in the port. We ran that until about 2012. We had 2007. We also had another oil project. I think it was tallow oil. And then in 2012, 2013, we did Petrobras and another one, I forget the name now. So it was
there were ups and downs.
They were good, yeah. Finished off on a nice high. We did the import of the solar power stations for the Northern Cape. That was a massive one, which eventually led to us winning the Midwest Award that year. That was in 2014, I think, which was also my final year before I turned 60 and was unmandated retirement. I was happy to carry on under contract with Hans Klimke at the time. I was very pleased he could help me there. Yeah, I think the last project I just mentioned now, the solar plants, everybody said we couldn't do it. And of course that's like hanging a red flag in front of me. They said because we had to do heavy lifts, as heavy as 356 tons. Transformers, and we were told you can't land that on our quay. And we managed to get the expertise in, and we did it. We landed the stuff, landed it on the quay, transported it all the way from Luderitz to the Northern Cape through the Orion's flow border. All things that we were told that couldn't be done. The thing that made Luderitz very attractive to the importers was the road from Luderitz to Upington. There was only one major bridge to consider, and that was the bridge just before Kettnanshoek, which they had to prop to get these heavy loads across them. But I think we eventually did three or four power stations that we imported then, and it was really great fun.
Anything that happened that you think you'll never forget? I'm thinking about something disastrous or negative or very challenging, or that you would rather not remember. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, one tends not to remember disasters. But no, look, I mean, to us a disaster is when you lose a plant. When we lost Scorpion Zinc, it was a major disaster. That was something I don't want to remember. It was done in to my mind, a rather devious manner, and wasn't deserved. But those were the lowlights. I think the oil and gas operations, all of them, were just such fun. I mean, we really worked hard. Everybody was up all hours. We worked 18 hours a day. But it was great, and I remember always one of the top oil guys was saying, he said, when they were out on the rig, they said the one thing they completely forgot about was the shore base, and he says that's how it should be. So it meant we did a fairly good job.
Did the right things.
Yeah.
This is Manica's 100th birthday centennial anniversary. Yes. Do you have a message for the Manicans, the young ones starting up in this interesting career?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've made so many fond memories, and I have so many ex-colleagues around the place. Some have gone like me. Others are still around, I'm surprised to see. So, big hello to those guys. I think in particular my old friend Paul Wolf. If he's watching this, Paul, great working with you. You're a fantastic man. And to the new guys, big shoes to fill. Massive shoes to fill. Manica has been such a talent pot in the freight and logistics industry, and obviously remains to be so, and will be so. Yeah, well done, and good luck to you guys that are coming in. You really have, you've got to follow in big footsteps.